What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about why protecting your peace is so crucial. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the more I start dealing with people and talking to people, I started learning why their energy and why the way that they carry themselves is so off, at least to me, because a lot of people, they don't have a lot of peace. You know, being in this world, dealing with people, going to jobs, trying to maintain your life, trying to maintain family life, you're always learning that, you know, there's going to be some type of disturbance somewhere, right? Things are going to come up, things are going to happen, but it's like, what are you going to do about it to be able to protect your peace? Because what people do is that they go through life, right? Something happens and it like disrupts them to where it like shifts their entire mood for the day, their entire mood for the week, something that they have to deal with on a consistent basis. They end up having to deal with it. And what they do is that they end up just carrying this big disturbance to everybody that they interact with. And so what people end up finding out like too late is that they're like disturbing other people's peace, right? They're not peaceful when they go into work. They start becoming a hassle. They start creating more problems. They start, the interactions that they have, it's not really as smooth, right? They're more negative. What they end up doing is that they're just really like becoming more of a burden to people than they think. And I hate to say the word burden because a lot of people already think they're a burden to people in like their life. Like if you think that you're the person that's a burden in someone's life, I want you to evaluate the reason that you feel like that is because you don't feel like you bring them peace, right? Like realistically, if you feel like you're the reason that someone else is not really excelling or someone else isn't really doing good in their life and you think it's because of you, I want you to evaluate if it's because of you or if it's because of someone else. Because the more that you think that you're the burden, the more that you're already diminishing your peace because you're thinking that you're the cause or you're the problem for this person. Now, some people, that is the case. And that's where you got to learn where you got to remove yourself. But for the most part, people that go day to day and they think that they're the burden or they think they're the problem in everyone's life, you're already disturbing your own peace. You're already finding where you are, you're finding more of a cause for you to put that burden on yourself, if that makes sense. And so a lot of people need to reevaluate where their peace is going. People are in relationships they don't want to be in, whether it's abusive, physically, mentally, verbally. You know, people really want to find where peace is, but don't know where to find it at, right? And so what they do is that they go and they start searching everywhere. They want to start looking around at other people, looking at other relationships, see how happy they are, try to implement it into their relationship or into their family dynamic, and really trying to like try different things just to find peace. And what you got to learn is that finding peace isn't, the same method isn't going to work for everybody. Now you have basic methods, you have like the typical methods of, you know, communication and, you know, being able to have self-control. Those things are of course going to give you more peace, but you know, it depends on the people that you're working with. It of course depends on the environment that you're in. It depends on the people that you're interacting with on a daily basis. It depends on how you perceive yourself to be whenever you're talking to different people. It really depends on a lot of different things. And so whenever you're out here trying to find peace and you're trying to find ways to calm a situation, you have to evaluate the people that you're dealing with. For one, you have to also evaluate yourself to see how you're going to react when they don't want to reciprocate the peace back. And you have to understand the type of environment that you're in, because the more that you understand the environment, the more that you can understand how to control the environment, right? And so that's the main thing that like a lot of people want to do when they start finding different reasons that they're like, okay, look, my life is becoming a little stressful. Finances are everywhere. I don't really like the job I'm at. I'm in school and I'm starting to fail this class. I don't really understand this teacher. I'm at work and I don't really like my boss. I feel like I'm overworking myself. The things that I'm working on aren't producing the type of results that I need. You start understanding that literally the things that are out of your control are just going to be out of your control, but the things that you can be in control of, you have to learn how to have a peace in those things. Learning to have peace in those type of situations gives you a different type of demeanor whenever you walk into the room, right? Understanding that whenever you're sitting there and you're like talking to somebody, you're either going to have a negative or a positive exchange with them. Okay, but when I was younger, I wanted to be the positive light in everybody, right? I would walk in, I would smile, I would say hello to everybody. I would make sure that like they felt welcome, no matter who they were. And that's because I understood the power of peace and the power of presence. When you come into a place and you're like kind of standoff, or like you're kind of shy, people pick up on that. If you're not gonna have that person that's gonna go over to you and like kind of introduce themselves, then it's going to wear off in the entire room that you're like the shy person, or that you're this person that's kind of standoffish, and now it kind of makes you look a little awkward. What you gotta realize is that whenever you're like in a place where you're trying to understand different people, you have to understand the type of environment that you're in. And what that comes with is being able to have the self-control and the peace in yourself before you can really start walking into those different spaces. Because if you walk in with a disrupted peace, that's gonna wear off to the entire room wherever you're at, right? And so the question is, how do you find the peace? And me personally, finding peace is building a relationship with God, building a relationship with myself to understand who I am, staying productive, so that if that's creating videos, if that's staying on top of my business, if that's going to the gym, making sure that I'm staying on top of what I need to stay on top of gives me a peace of mind, because I feel like I'm still producing and I still feel like I'm like putting in value into myself. Value could look like working extra hours. That could also just look like being peaceful in a relationship, right? Being that person that doesn't have to always create arguments, knowing how to communicate, knowing how to shift a conversation, knowing how to be that person that doesn't always have to be so loud and so aggressive, right? A lot of people, whenever they're in a relationship, they don't know how to communicate. So if you don't know how to communicate, it's going to make it very hard for the other person to understand and reciprocate the actual emotions and the actual words that you're saying, because all they hear is loudness and cursing and, you know, all the negativity that is behind the emotion of what you're actually feeling. And so the more that you actually can communicate with your partner, the more peace you'll actually end up having in that relationship. And that could be, you know, I say relationship, but that doesn't have to just be with you and your significant other. That could be you and your parents. That could be you and your brother. That could be you and your grandparents. That could be you and anybody, any type of relationship. It can be a work relationship. You know, I mean, I can go on and on, but relationships is what the world runs on, right? And whenever you understand how to have peaceful relationships, those relationships tend to grow and they start to take you to that next level. Because a lot of people, they already have chaos and drama going on in their life, that when they feel like they can be peaceful with someone, they can be able to be vulnerable with them, then they actually draw to those people. You ever notice those people that like, they draw near to everybody, like they draw just people in whenever they're talking to people? It's because they give a good energy to people. They put on a smile, they know how to communicate, they know how to relate, they know how to be able to interact with a group of people, right? They bring a good vibe into the room. The people that are standoffish, the people that are silent, the people that don't really know how to like the social awkward people, those are the kind of people that end up missing out on the things that like those other people have, because you're still learning how to communicate, you're still learning how to talk to people, but you start looking at this other person that's already drawing people in, like in envy, right? And you're like, how do they have this type of characteristics and these type of traits to like talk to these people? And what I would say, you know, if you're that type of person, you just have to learn how to be personable. Understand the person that you're talking to, and understanding the person that what they're looking for in the conversation. It's one thing that you're going to learn, especially dealing in like different relationships, is that people will actually draw near to you and will tell you more than they tell anyone else, because you can be that peace for them, because you can be that ear for them, because you can be able to be that person that they can actually be comfortable with. And once you find those type of people, once you actually interact with those type of people, you start wanting to do it more, because like I've said before, you feel like you kind of have more value in people's lives only because you feel like you can actually provide value to people. And so whenever you actually provide value to someone, they feel like they can actually trust you and they can draw near to you more than they would for some other person. And when you start understanding that, you're going to understand why people become those persons. Does that make sense? Those people that like, I just love people. I love being around people. I love interacting with people. I love helping them. I love getting them to the next level. I love, you know, people, right? And a lot of people right now, they're like, yeah, I don't really understand why people love people. I keep saying people so much. Real quick, y'all ever like say words so much, you're like, why is it spelled like that? Or like, why does it sound like that? Like, who came up with that? That's how I feel right now when I'm saying people. But anyway, you're gonna understand when you're talking to different people that they're looking for a value in a conversation. They're looking for value in an interaction. They're looking for value in a relationship. They're looking for value whenever they're connecting, right? And so the more value you can produce to people, the more value you can actually have in yourself. Everyone's peace looks different. You know, some people find peace in smoking. Some people find peace in drinking. Some people find peace in sexual things. Some people find peace in being around the right people. Some people find peace in playing video games. Some people find peace in hanging out with the girls and going out. Other people, they just like to stay at home and, you know, read the Bible. You know, finding more peace is being around family. And it really varies. That's why it's always person to person. That's why it makes it so personable, because everyone is different. And so the more that you understand what is your peace and what brings you peace, the more that you're going to understand yourself. Understand the value in protecting yourself. A lot of people, they want to give themselves to everyone, or they want to give themselves to a select group of people. But you have to understand who you're giving yourself to. Understand where your energy and where your value is going, because you could put it in someone. It's like a investment, right? You put it in a bad stock and it crashes, then what? You took a loss, right? Best part is that there's so many stocks that you can always invest in something else. And that's how I kind of look at people. You invest in a person, it didn't really work out too well, the relationship didn't really work out, but you can always find another person to try to find the value and to invest in, right? And not to say that you should be like people hopping, because like I said, relationships are everywhere, right? I'm not just talking about boy-girl relationships, but understand that you're trying to find a space where you can be able to protect yourself, protect your own energy and the peace that you have. Because, and I say energy, I don't say that on like a horoscope, like, you know, on that type of level, nothing like that. I say energy as in literally day to day, you're producing energy and you're giving it to anything. Me putting this video out, me editing this video, me making this video, is me giving energy, talking to you guys, right? Me going to the gym, that's producing energy. Me walking around, producing energy. Me eating is energy. Energy is everywhere. But I don't mean that like on a horoscope or no, like, you know, super psychological level. And so you just have to understand where you're giving that to and understand where you're putting that. I say all that to say, protect yourself from the people that you give yourself to. Because what you value, you as a person, is going to be rubbing off on people all around you. And so understand the type of value, the type of peace, and the type of energy that you carry. And whenever you walk into a room, don't walk into it and think about all the negativity. Walk into it and think about the value that you can give people, and watch how much people really value you. So that's really all I got for you guys. Like this video, subscribe to the channel for sure. Check out the other videos, especially with me talking about communication. Check out that video. And until then, I will catch you on the next video. Gone.